Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that movement, that team, which I'm a part of, has reached out directly and indirectly to over 500,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, solution for someone's problem. And good morning, Ryan Knight, on the Morning Vibe on February 23rd. How are you?
Very good, very good. Always good to start the morning with you, sir. And for those that are just remembering who I am, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro Caribbean Business Network. So we support entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage the business is in and help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And I do run a company myself. I run a business called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based, eco-friendly cleaning supplies. So as always, really good to be here with you, Dr. Vibe.
Good morning, and good to have you here. What was going on over the weekend? Because I know you're on the gala tour, Black BHM 26.
Yeah, so I wanted to share kind of the travels thus far, but this weekend, Jean Augustine was doing a brunch at her Jean Augustine Center for Young Girls, so I was able to pop by and support there with our president, Karen Rowe, president of ACBN. So that was nice to attend.
Good. It was well attended.
Yeah, packed house, and the place is the center itself is really cool because it has a commercial kitchen, and I think they do like taekwondo in there, so they do a whole bunch of different activities. So I'm definitely gonna get Jasmine, my daughter, more involved, and ACBN as well. We have an MOU with their organization now, so gonna be cross promoting our programs.
Where is it located?
It is in Etobicoke, so down by, oh my gosh. You know where Evans is?
Yep.
And then where it ends,
yep.
It's like, I think Royal York.
So, like a 427 in Evans area?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just a bit east of there.
Okay. Yeah, I know that's sort of like, that's probably like southwest Etobicoke.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad. And who did you see there that you didn't know? Because you probably knew everybody there.
Yeah, MPP Lee, and the last name is gonna escape me, but I'll grab it in a sec. She is the MPP for Etobicoke, that area, I think Etobicoke South.
Okay.
So it was cool to get to meet her for the first time. Who else did I didn't know? So Karen, I mean, she introduced me to a gentleman named, I want to say it was Dev or Blue. Yeah, so I met him for the first time.
Dev or Blue? Which one is it? Or is it together, or is it somebody else?
Is it Dev Blue or yeah? I have to get better at that.
It's okay.
So this one, what is his name? Lee Fairclough, okay. The MPP for Etobicoke Lakeshore. So that was cool to meet them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this share screen up so you can see the chronicle of the journey. Let me know if that's working okay.
There you go.
Is it working?
It's up there. It's okay.
So this was the event. So Jean Augustine, and they were doing the opening remarks and everything, and the food. Oh, see, so they're doing a martial arts demonstration. So that's always fun. I was getting Jean Augustine signed. So that was cool to see. Let's see. Oh, wow. Took a lot of pictures. And they had a display of different, figures, Black women in the community that was created by
Rosemary Brown. Okay.
All right.
Go switch back. That lady's from BPAO.
Okay, yes. It's Chisholm. Is it?
Yeah, I know who she is. Yeah, from the Black Physicians Association of Ontario.
Yeah, so got to
Know
see her
that lady.
again.
Okay, keep on going. Okay,
And
Michelle was there. Okay.
the Gene Augustine Center. So got them. And then Gene Augustine was doing photos with everyone.
Okay.
There's some drumming, which was cool. Let's see. So yeah, people were lined up to get photos, and Gene Augustine was doing her closing remarks. Oh, and I think we're into the next day. So the day before, we were at Tropicana. They were doing their Black History Month event.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think her name's Janet.
That-
So this lady, she's from oh my gosh, Caravana Arts Group. So
Okay.
she runs their youth program inside of Tropicana.
Anna.
So she's
Okay.
looking to do it at other locations as well. I got to meet, I didn't take a picture with Tony. So Tony does import-export, which is pretty cool. And this gentleman is the new executive director of Tropicana.
Okay.
Danny, I forget his last name, but
Okay. All right.
Oh, actually, I have it here. One sec. Because he was one of our speakers on Friday at the Black Futures event. So his name is Danny Enkel, the CEO of Tropicana Community Services.
Okay.
I forget this gentleman's name, but he also is the president of the board of Tropicana.
Okay.
So I have to catch that. So for Black History Month, then they had like a dancer, and then so different MPPs were doing, giving their scrolls, they called it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where after the panel, so I was on the panel with Gene Augustine and Dr. Alvin Curling. So it was cool to be on stage with the legend. And so Andrea, I think her last name is Hazel.
Yes.
Yeah. So the MPP of Scarborough.
Yeah.
She was there giving out scrolls as well. And this lady she has a business called Nurse with the Purse, or Nurse Purse. Yeah, Nurse with the Purse. But she's also Miss North America. So she's representing us for that pageant. Oh, and there's Andrea Hazel again. This is another MP. I forgot her name. She wrote that down. So yeah, it was great. Back-to-back days getting to see Dr. Gene Augustine. And there's Dr. Alvin Curling.
Dr. Curling, yeah, okay.
And do you know which counselor this is?
Yes, Jamal Myers.
Yes.
CTC.
So he was talking about they're launching a long-term care home in Toronto where a couple of the floors are going to be dedicated to specific cultural needs.
Okay.
So that's going to be launched. Oh, he said Finch and I forget where he said now, but it's somewhere around Finch. I'll get that intersection after. And this was Tisha, I think Tisha or Tasha. And I was doing it live as well. All right. So that event, so the day before, so Thursday evening, we were able to be at CIBC Square. Well, inside of CIBC Square, BDC has an event space as well called BDC Square. So their keynote speaker was Frank Bayless, former MP, current entrepreneur with Bayless Medical Technologies. So it's always good getting to hear his story. And this gentleman, Brent, he started a company called Dream Payments. Have you ever heard of Dream Payments?
No.
So Dream Payments used to be, you know how Square has the little POS system that you can take payments with?
Right.
So he actually started his own called Dream Payments. So a lot of entrepreneurs at trade shows used to use it, but now it's been shifted to, I think they do enterprise payments. So I don't think they do the reader anymore.
Things like
So
that.
he was talking
after my first.
So the panel was cool. Brian Duarte was moderating the panel.
Okay.
And this lady, Tanika, she actually sold her business. So they started a whole AI-powered startup and was able to sell it to a company called Dig. I've never heard of Dig, but apparently Yeah, she got acquired. So she was telling that whole story of how her company went through the process of getting acquired. And this lady, Ray. So can you guess who Ray is related to? Somebody that we know from Alterna Savings.
I don't know. There's a name there, but I can't think of it right now.
So that's the niece of Jean Barrett that runs
Okay.
the lending program at Alterna Savings. So she has a program called the Founder Athlete or Founder Lead. But she helps with performance training for athletes. I really liked her presentation, so we're hoping to connect with her more. And this gentleman from Futurepreneur, he was talking about their lending programs. So Isaac Jason in the middle, he runs the BDC Capital program. And so they're going to be investing in more Black focused entrepreneurs. So definitely want to keep close. And this gentleman, Jonathan, he was one of our graduates from the Delta program, the Delta Entrepreneurship Program. And have you ever met Abimbola that runs Leading Ladies?
I think I may have met her once.
Okay, nice. Yeah, she was there. It's always good to see her. She has a big pitch competition coming up in May, I believe. And have you met Cassandra Dorrington before?
Nope.
So Cassandra, she runs CAMSI, so the Canadian Aboriginal Suppliers Network.
I know of that lady. Someone
Yeah.
I know is actually won their won an award as champion advocate of the year for that organization.
Whoa, nice. Yeah, so she's been running it, and yeah, definitely a fan of her work. Let's see. Of course, Kurt Davis popped in. He's the Consul General of Jamaica, so it's good to see that he was able to make the event. Let's see. All right, so yeah, these are just BDC people. So Stephanie helped us put the event together. So ACBN was one of the co-designers of the event, thanks to Stephanie. So it was great getting to support this event. Of course, Craig Wellington from the Black Opportunity Fund. It was good to see the gentleman. So it's BDC's Game Changers. And this is Daniel. I forget his exact title, but I know he's part of community finance as well at BDC. And Michelle, I feel like Michelle and I are bumping into each other at so many different events.
Okay.
All right. So before that day, we were at, let's see. Oh, there's Gary Gibbs, sorry. So Procurement Assistant Canada, we have to get more people contracts from the government. But I feel like it's such a hard nut to crack. So they had a whole trade show happening on the Wednesday. So this is the day before the BDC event. So this really quickly. So Amanzi is the main contact there. So if anybody wants to connect with Procurement Assistant Canada, definitely want to get you connected to this gentleman, Amanzi. We're actually supposed to have him at the symposium. So hopefully he's still able to make it. He was checking his calendar. So Nobellum was there. This lady Teresa, she runs BACD. So in Durham, the entrepreneurship support entity, they were putting together the event with Procurement Assistance Canada. All right. And the last event was at the Jamaican Canadian Association Center. So shout out to David. He's actually doing an event on Mother's Day. So stay tuned for that once we get the details. And this lady does alkaline water. She was a former Olympic athlete for Jamaica and won gold in the high jump. So that was cool to get to meet her. And Stacey Ann Berry, she's actually going to be speaking at our event on Wednesday with the nonprofits about lobbying to the government to actually how to do that properly. So I'm looking forward to that session. So this is the initial Jamaican Canadian business advisory that put on the forum so that we can be supporting more Jamaican entrepreneurs. So stay tuned for more events coming out of that because
Lisa Ruddy and
yes,
Flicks Fireworks.
Siobhan, yeah. And Margaret is from Jam Pro.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think she's from Jam Pro as well. And Shelly, I don't know if you know Shelly. This gentleman, Claude, he's from JN Money. So he's a good person to stay close to. And of course, Kirk Davis. I forget this gentleman's name. Stephanie is also on the advisory. But I think that, and Roger, I don't know if you know Roger. I met him for the first time. Roger Odenkwai. So this was the mini panel. And yeah, packed house. It was great to see people able to make it Tuesday evening. All right. Yeah, so that was the week in review of events. Okay. This week coming up is a lot quieter, but yes, if I travel anywhere, I'll let you know.
Okay, so let's rock and roll here. We are gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll do some housework, and we have a friend coming to join us today. So we will be back in, I'd say 30 seconds.
Let's watch Black Canada Talking live on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern, where Dr. Vibe and Cesar Demamusa give their takes and POVs on news stories from a Black Canadian perspective.
Let's watch The Morning Vibe live on Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern, where Dr. Vibe and Ryan Knight discuss important subjects between themselves or have conversations with people who you need to know about.
Okay, we are back on The Morning Vibe on February 23rd. And if you're watching this live and you're in the Northeast United States, we are going, oh my. So parts of like, there's like Connecticut, Boston, they're getting like 10 to 12 inches of snow over the next 24 hours. So hope you're staying safe. And we, I know maybe Canada does get away with things once in a while. All right. So let's subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. And I'm going to put it out there. If you subscribe, engage. That means you either watch the lives or the replays, put comments up. We want you to give me a second here. There we go. We got that out of the way. Yeah, because we want you to engage. Just don't put yourself in and just don't do anything. Do some stuff. Also, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Substack. Join our Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@thedr.vibe.show.com or click on the link there. Advertise your business, product, or service on our show. Please email me at dr.vibe@thedr.vibe.show.com. And Indie Soup TV, run by our good friend Dr. Tachi out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Over 28,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, about 2.5 on her channel that she created and manages, and about 2.5 years, which again, subscriber-wise, puts her YouTube channel in the top 4% of subscribers of all YouTube channels.
Nice.
So go check that out. We got some comments here, bunch of comments here. All right, so let's go from the top. We have Fitness IQ Cam says morning. And also Frequency of Air Promotions is going, seen Mr. Uckle on your Zoom call, Ryan. That ED means business.
Yes. Okay. We were interviewing him on Friday at 12. So every day in Black History Month, we've been interviewing a different leader in the community at noon. So Danny Anko, yes, he was our guest this past Friday. So thanks, Christopher.
All right. Then he also says, does Isaac have an event space? If so, what is the standing capacity, Ryan?
He used to have the one at the hotel, but I haven't seen it used recently. So I don't know I think it was converted to a training center, but I have to check. But yeah, usually by the hotel, the YYZ, I think it's called Dream YYZ. hotel.
Okay. Fitness IQ Camp says KMT, not oh my. I don't know what that refers to. Hayden says, good morning, Dr. Vibe. The picture isn't covering the full screen. I don't know what you mean by that, but maybe it's what I just did a few moments ago. And then Hayden says, please check and adjust. Okay, I hope that's been taken care of. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what that's happening. I know what you're talking about now. I got you. I'll see if I can fool around with that in the next few minutes. And from Brooklyn, the food plane, top of the morning, DS here. All right. So we got all that stuff out of the way. And who do we have today, Ryan?
Yeah, so a business owner in the community that's been on the show a few times, but not in a while. So the owner and founder of Empowered for X, Chrisbeth Cowie, is joining us this morning, talking about how businesses can get ready. I mean, 2026 is two months in, but we can always adjust and amplify. So good to see you, Chrisbeth.
Got to unmute yourself, Chrisbeth. There we go.
Thank you. Sorry. Good morning, Dr. Vibe. Good morning, Ryan. How are you all doing?
Outstanding. How about you?
Fantastic. Very good.
I'm doing well, and it's always a pleasure to be on the show with you all. Ryan, I love the recap of the week. The photos tell a powerful story. You're definitely out and about in the community, making some strong connections and partnerships there. So congratulations to you, Ryan.
They appreciate that. And yeah, for those that might have missed your previous appearances on our show, can you tell them a bit about Empowered for X and what made you start the company?
Hey, thank you so much, Ryan. Yes, it's been a little while since I've been here. As Ryan said, my name is Chrisbeth Cowie. I am the founder of Empowered for X. It was really started from a personal need of wanting to build community for entrepreneurs, create a safe space for entrepreneurs to where their business can flourish. I like to say we create homes for entrepreneurs. So oftentimes when home-based entrepreneurs start their businesses, they use their home address as their own, which creates a lot of vulnerabilities and lack of credibility when it comes to investors and suppliers and things like that. So one of the good things about our business model is that they get to use over 4 different professional business addresses as their own. We're currently based in Ottawa. We have 2 locations in Brampton, one downtown Brampton and one towards Mississauga. And then we're also based in Scarborough. And we're really looking to expand to create more professional spaces where entrepreneurs can really establish their business. We collect their mail. And really what we've heard is being CRA ready, because once you register, your information gets public, right? So really looking at curbing that. And then the second thing that we do is really around our marketing agency, supporting entrepreneurs with helping them with lead generation.
Gotcha. Yeah. Much appreciated.
You want me to talk?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask Chrisbeth, how long have you been running Empowered for X?
So I like to say version 1 of our business started in 2014. It was called Empowered for Excellence, where I was doing a lot of speaking and training. And really a chance, an opportunity came to really dive into focusing on building the capacity of entrepreneurs through understanding how to go from ideation to commercialization. But in 2019, we did do a name change to Empowered for X, and we incorporated as well. So we started off as a sole proprietor and then, incorporated. And I oftentimes talk to entrepreneurs about that evolution. So from 2019, we established our first location where we had a co-working facility, event space, and the training continued, so 2019 to present date, we've been established as Empowered for X.
Question for you. You probably have a good lens on this. Have there been different iterations of Black entrepreneurship? Because you started in 2014. It's now 2026. Have you seen different iterations of Black entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I could talk about my own evolution over the
Sure.
time period, right? And I think in the work that I do, I see it. So going from, hey, I have a business idea, I want to bring value to the marketplace, but not really having that business acumen. And I think over the years in my own journey, surrounding myself with business coaches, diving into the training and understanding to be able to establish a flourishing business is part of my journey. And I have seen that for entrepreneurs as well. I would say, in particular, in 2019, as we had this space, it was right on the heels of COVID-19, right? And so we saw a massive change and adjustment, a level of awareness. I think myself and Ryan, also co-founders of the Afro Caribbean Business Network, at that time we saw over 1,500 Black business owners who were not registered, right? And that means not even registered as a sole proprietor. And I think our message at that time was really like, if you're not registered, the Canadian government cannot help you, couldn't tap into the subsidies and the benefits in that way. And I think that message today, we're not seeing so much not registering. So I would say I'm seeing that progression, but really where I am looking and where I spend a lot of my time is helping to develop that business acumen for entrepreneurs, right? And one of the biggest spaces that I show up is around marketing, having that strategic plan for your business holistically, but really looking at where the gaps. We see entrepreneurs not consistent with their sales and revenue, and that's one of our objectives with the work that we do.
Has marketing always been a challenge for many of the entrepreneurs you assist?
I would say yes. I think oftentimes, the saying is that, most people are working for the man or the woman, and then one day gets an entrepreneurial, awakening, and they say, I'm going to run a business, not really understanding the full scope of what is required. And I think what is required is bringing attention to your brand, bringing that level of awareness. And people aren't oftentimes confident to step into that space. But I think it comes with time, right? With anything, it is a skill that can be learned. And we are learning it and doing good work and bringing awareness to our brand for sure.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Ryan, do you want to add something? Or I'll bring in comments so you can chat whatever you want.
Oh, if there's comments, you can go ahead. I'll say my question.
So Food Plane taking up here saying we are snowed in, serious blizzard in the East Coast from Manhattan.
No. That's rough.
And Dr. Tachi says, Food Plane, good morning and stay safe. Fitness IQ Cam says, hey, Chris Beth. Also, Opal Inspired says, good morning, all. Have you hit your 1,000 subscribers yet? Opal Inspired, talk to me. Frequency Event Promotion says, Chris Beth, what is good? And then, so if the Food Plane's here, you're going to get a lot of questions, Chris Beth. So the first one is, are there differences you see between Canadian and U.S. audiences when generating leads? I don't know how much she knows about that, but maybe she can answer.
It's interesting. We've definitely served US clients. The majority of our clients are Canadian based. But what I would say, based on the work that we have done cross-border, you have to know your market, right? I think for us being here in Canada, when working on an application that supports individual on the autism spectrum, we had to get local. We were list building and doing the market research for that specific space. So I think the fundamental pieces around marketing remains the same no matter where you are. You have to know your audience. And then from there, realizing and understanding their pain points, their desires, their wants, and tailoring the communication on accordingly, right? I think that those would be the core things that I have seen that is cross-border. I think when we look at the Canadian numbers versus American numbers, obviously there is a greater database in the US markets, right? And we have supported Canadians to reach US markets as well. So I think the learning continues forever, but I think the core things that we do around lead generation, funnel building, are universal things that can be utilized for your business growth.
Gotcha. Do you feel more Canadian businesses should be trying to get American clients and expanding markets, or?
Well, it's an interesting question in this economy, right? I think, what we have heard from our customers, tariffs have, especially our product-based customers, the tariffs have definitely impacted their businesses negatively and a lot, right? And so one of the shifts for us is supporting to help them establish some find Canadian suppliers, do different things like that, and reach our Canadian market. I would say that expanding globally, it's a desire of mine, so I will never tell people not to. I think with any expansion, definitely connecting with supports like Import Export Canada, EDC or BDC. There's different opportunities to figure out how to do it well. It does, again, market research, understanding the strategy and the goal. Ultimately, it's a good process and method for people to grow and expand their business.
Okay, good
Absolutely.
stuff. So
Yes.
that is some updated comments here, and just like things are going fast and furious here. So I'll put a pin on Food Pin's questions right now, but there's some other things here. Excuse me. Frequency of Air Promotion says, Chris Beth, we need to resume our conversation over from the Federation breakfast.
Yes, we will. I will send you a message. Yes, let's
And there we go. Opal Inspired has hit 1,000.
Boom. I love it.
She has hit 1,000 subscribers. So you're in the whole new world of YouTube now. Believe it or not, I think it's about 10% of all YouTube channels have over 1,000 subscribers. So that is a big, big, big thing.
Gotcha.
Ray says, good morning, gentlemen. Morning, Chris Beth.
Yeah,
Having been
Ray.
coaching businesses for as long as you have you started preparing business for intergenerational transfer? And how has it gone? If yes, good question.
So I would say that in intergenerational transfer of business is not where we are, but we do have partners that specialize in mergers and acquisitions in terms of transferring ownership from the parents to the children. What I have seen from the peripheries is that many businesses that we're currently supporting aren't there yet. They're not even thinking about that, right? Because they're kind of in the solopreneur, everything lies on their shoulder and not really thinking about infrastructure. And that's really where a lot of our conversation goes. It's like, what are you doing, especially in this economy where things can be systemized and automated and structured well, so that you're freeing up your time, bringing team, delegating different things like that. So we spend a lot of time focused on helping people get on that path for the work to come, right? I think oftentimes, and sadly, businesses die with them on the path because they are not structured well. And I think the work that we're doing in these infancy states is really to say, how is the business structured? So when you're sick, your business is not sick. When you're on vacation, your business is not on vacation. And that was part of my story. I tell it like that because that was me when I was a solopreneur. And now, really thinking about the infrastructure of building team to help expand and grow in this way. So it's a message that I bring to the community when I'm working with them.
Okay.
Gotcha. Well, you mentioned like a lot of businesses aren't set up for transfer. Like, what do you mean by not set up? Like, what would a business have to do so in the future they could sell it or leave it to their kids and stuff?
Yeah, so some of the foundational things, Ryan, that I have seen, they don't have their processes documented. Like that would be like mission one, right? Like I would say, yes, if you have a pathway to make sales and all of those things, and you're that solopreneur, honestly, start documenting the work, right? I say to my team, I need to know from turning on the light in the morning to how the day operates all the way to turning it off at night, right? And I'm happy to say, working with my team over the time period, we've documented this stuff, right? So those are some of the infrastructural pieces. And I think when you document, you could now say, are there gaps or opportunities for making this process as seamless as possible, right? It's so funny, Ryan. I meet entrepreneurs who are still with pen and paper, and I love pen and paper, but that's not where your database should be sitting, right? They say, I have this person's name on a piece of paper and stuff like that. So having a centralized system, and the system and the tool that we recommend and use, two of them really that we're seeing that we're using in our own ecosystem and for our clients is Zoho One. I tell people not just Zoho. Zoho does sell all of their things individually, but Zoho One gives you a robust system where you can build your database, manage your sales, handle your billing. All of your accounting needs can be supported in that one space. So finding that centralized operating system, again, the goal is, can this be done without you? Like, I think if you're building business, it's really to say, can this entity or engine that I'm building operate when you're not running it, when you're sleeping, right? And then the other tool that we are known and using in our community is Go High Level. So those would be the two systems I would say foundationally. So get your stuff into a space whereby it can be systematized and automated so that growth can happen in a much more seamless way.
Okay, so Frequency Event Promotions says entrepreneurship is alive and well and nutritious. All right. Food Plane says congratulations to Opal, which is beautiful. And we got some more questions here. So let's take a look. So Food Plane, how do you approach lead generation for niche or service-based brands?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So again, I think one of the things that we miss as business owners sometimes is the lack of market research, right? We take it from two perspectives. Our clients, your competitors, from the competitive angle, your competitors are probably reaching the niche somehow, some ways already, right? Oftentimes when we engage with newer business, they are like, oh, I have this idea and nobody else has it. Chances are you're wrong, right? So let's do some market research to see what is happening.
That's a red flag right there to me.
Yeah,
I'm being
most
very
definitely.
honest.
So where our work fundamentally lies is in market research. And I strongly encourage people to take time to do that, right? There are tools like Perplexity, ChatGPT that can help. Also, you can validate that as well. I like to say in Canada, I'm sure in the US as well, but in Canada, a library card is free, and business librarians exist to help us do the research for ideas or things that we have, right? So whether it is looking at lag data or current data, meaning get out and start talking to people. So if you're saying, oh, my niche is consultants, that's still a broad scope, right? Is it IT consultants? Be specific, right? So with whomever. And I think that present day market research is you starting to have conversations with them. An exercise that we're currently doing with some young entrepreneurs. And I like to tell people, we don't have to be doing so superior things. Go back to the fundamentals, go out and have a conversation. So we have them create a survey, really just asking questions to understand the problem. The beauty of interviewing people, yes, it takes time, but when you listen, you will hear how they describe the problem, how they describe the solution, and you can use that in your marketing. So we're talking about funnels from the perspective of being able to we start with a landing page. So on that landing page, we're looking at keyword messaging that reaches and connects with the audience. We say one landing page should be for one specific customer, talking about one core problem, offering one core solution. So again, when we're niching, we're very targeted in terms of what we're doing. And from there, we look at different lead magnets and email sequences to be able to draw people in. So that would be on a high level. On the flip side, we use LinkedIn marketing as well. Ryan is pretty versed in these tools, but we leverage Dripify and Lead Delta to help nurture, the cold market as well as engage more effectively with your warm market, right? Because oftentimes, and I'll be honest, people don't know what you're actually doing, right? And not everybody will say yes. I think entrepreneurship, people think silver bullet. I'm just gonna, everybody that I talk to is going to say yes. That's not the thing, right? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. But for the people that say no, do you have a space where you can nurture that lead? And we found that through email communication, there's a high conversion in that way.
Okay, speaking about research, put it out there, people. Please click on this link, and especially if you're on many of these platforms, it's in your comments section. Click on this link so you can take a 2-minute audience survey. Help shape the morning vibe. Data is important. Data and relationship. Pardon me?
I love that for you, Dr. Vibe. And the truth is, most of us never ask, right? So we continue doing this stuff, and I love it. I love it. How relevant.
Yeah, well, it's just a nice tie-in for what you said, because people, and I think another thing I would put out there, if you have, and it's an investment, not an expense, have focus groups. I'll just leave it at that.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that. A lot of people don't use that. Having a focus group can give you eyes, ears, nose, and throat of things going out there that you may not know about.
Yes. So primary research, you can use surveys, you can use focus groups. I tell people, go sit and watch your competitors' doors. See who's going in and out, right? Observation is a huge thing. You can do product testing, all different things like that. But the secondary data is good. But when you get a hold of that primary data, it just helps you get even deeper.
Food plans another question. He says, how do you define a qualified lead versus just a contact?
Oh, qualified lead. So in in my earlier journeys, really you create that form and you're like, oh, everybody that fills it is a good person, good lead in that way. That person, I would say, may just be a contact in that way. So one of the things that we do is refine the types of questions that we're asking, right? For the purposes of understanding who they are, understanding their pain points, understanding, do they have the capacity to pay? Like, one of the questions that you could put in your questionnaire is, are you willing to make that investment of X number of dollars? And it could say yes or no. They say yes or no, maybe not right now. But I think that budget question does help to amplify whether or not they're a good fit for you, a qualified lead in that way, right? Because oftentimes people fill the form and you can spend hours just having conversations or trying to chase them down and all of those things. And they're not the right fit. But those people that fall in the contact, I never say they're not good in the sense we don't want to talk to them, they're just a waste of time. No, that's a bad perspective. It's to say, how can I nurture them to become a qualified lead, right? Because some people are ready, willing, and able to pay and engage today. Some people aren't. They may be ready, willing, but not able to pay for the service to get the help, right? But if you understand them, to be able to say, and I'm sure you've had these sales conversations to say where people say, oh, okay, so it's not a good time. Could I check back with you in 6 months, right? Leave the door open. They say, yeah, call me, engage, all of those things. But nurturing is part of the equation around lead generation for sure.
All right. Ray McMillan says, contact, prospect, then client. Contact, prospect, then client. getting to client requires a lot of work.
Yes.
And then he
Yeah,
also
the
says,
whole
now he has a
flow.
question for you. Wouldn't the expansion into the Caribbean be better option than the US? Most folks seem to ignore Caribbean, which presents tremendous opportunity.
Hey, I love it. As a Trinidadian by birth, why not? Why not? I mean, I was recently there and I'm just envisioning what expansion for E4X could look like in that space. So I'm all for it.
Okay. Ryan, go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, I'd love to hear any projects or things that you're working on, because as the year is going, I know Pod4X typically does different trainings. So where are you focused on when entrepreneurs engage with your company, and what's coming up in the future?
Yeah, great question, Ryan. So where we want to focus, I think one of the words for 2026 is focus, right? So we're focusing on expanding our virtual services. So if you or somebody you know that has a brick and mortar space that's looking for an opportunity to generate some additional revenue, we do our revenue share by partnering with organizations and nonprofits to help generate revenue, but service our clients for providing that professional home, which I talked about. I'd love to have a conversation. We do have a form that you can fill out and express interest that way. And then the second thing truly for us around building capacity and training is supporting with lead generation for our folks. So we have a campaign that will get launched at the end of March focused on B2B sales strategy via LinkedIn for the purposes of generating anywhere between 10 to 25 new qualified leads, right? And as my friend mentioned earlier, the difference just between a contact and a qualified lead, nurturing definitely needs to happen. But one of the tactics that we've been honing in on our own skills in this way, we know it works. You can get in contact with people, conversions are happening for our folks, and we want to just expand that in a greater way.
Let's see, since the pandemic has ended, well, in one phase, how have Black run businesses from your lens? What is the state of Black business? We've been a few years since the pandemic, but it's going to be a lifelong impact. How do you feel the pandemic still has an impact on Black entrepreneurship at this time?
I feel in terms of the impact of the pandemic, I feel obviously there's remnants, right? The sad truth and the reality of many people, there was a boom of business that took place. People with their lotions, their potions, and other types of businesses happening. And it was great. A lot of people profited. Designers making clothes, selling clothes, all of these things. But what we have seen is that they're testifying to a dip in business, right? And so one of the things that I've said in my own experience, my customer before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after the pandemic changed. The way that they engage was different. And it took that primary research to have conversations. What's happening for you so that our marketing adjusted to reach people where they are. So for the Black-owned businesses that we have seen that are still trying to navigate today, one of the spaces that I'm operating is in supporting loan-ready people to access loan programs, such as the Black Opportunity Fund and ACBN's microloan. The truth is, what I am seeing, businesses that either started in that season or just before and how they're operating now, yes, they want to access capital, and that's great. We need an injection of capital to continue to help us grow and stabilize. However, inconsistency in revenue is a common denominator. They have peaks, they have very low valleys. And when we do the pulse check on what does your day-to-day activity look like, we aren't mobilizing enough traction for our business, right? And I think that's where the marketing conversation comes into play very strongly for the entrepreneurs that I'm currently serving. To focus, let us get into marketing, generating activities so that we're bringing attention to the brand, so that, you know, conversions can happen, so that you can continue to build a list that you could nurture to transform into paying clients. So I would say, in summary, really and truly, for any business owner that's out there, check your daily activities, get marketing, get out there and start selling. You know, it is important. It is imperative because lenders want to see that revenue is coming into the books, right? And so if revenue is not coming into the books, please make it happen. The other thing, just as we're talking about revenue, get a business bank account, people. Like, your personal bank account does not suffice. So that's one tip I would just echo in this space.
You know, as you're sharing, I just thought about, if you look at the last decade, there was first the pandemic and now tariffs. So that's been quite a 1-2 in regards to entrepreneurship over the last few years. Any thought? What do you think about that perspective? Am I right that it's been quite a left-right to a lot of businesses?
Yeah, I would say too that I'm seeing, like, a lot of the conversations that I'm having, because I primarily work with service-based entrepreneurs, a lot less of them are impacted by tariffs in that way, if I can say it like that, versus my product-based entrepreneurs. But yeah, I mean, one thing after another, right? So now here is this, you know, everybody's converging back into the Canadian market. Yes, there's only so much in terms of population. I do believe that there's enough for everybody to eat and flourish, but it means that all the more reasons you need to be grounded in who you're serving and what you're doing, right? So I think, you know, maybe after the tariffs, you know, what else is to come for us, right? But we would hope and trust that, you know, I think going back to Ray's comments about, you know, intergenerational transfer of wealth and all of these things, we have to be putting those foundations in place. Like, is your business generating profits right now? What are you doing with that? Is it only getting all reinvested? Are you putting stuff into investments to help your business and yourself later on? So I think just really thinking more strategically, right? The truth is, and being in marketing as a service for entrepreneurs, I would say one of the things that you didn't say, Dr. Vibe, is AI. Like, AI is a huge disruptor for many businesses. And the question then becomes, what am I doing to adjust, to change, to grow, to learn, so that I can still be relevant in the market? We can't be saying, I'm going to start a newspaper business in the traditional way, or the horse and buggy stuff, right? Like, we have to be innovative. And I think we see it as Black people, we have the ability to be innovative. So I think there's a huge opportunity for us to rise above any challenge that is before us.
And knowing that something's coming around the corner, you don't know what it is. So preparing is definitely, the plan and strategy is important in business.
Yeah, what we used to do, sorry, I was just going to say, we used to help people write business plans and stuff, and we still support in that way. We now leverage an AI tool to help simplify the process, but then refining happens with the team. And one of the things in the business plan, as you all know, talks about risk. Before the pandemic, nobody had a pandemic in, you know, as one of the things. How do you mitigate your business if another pandemic was to onset? How do you mitigate your business for technological changes and advancement, right? And I think these are the things, as business owners, we need to be thinking more strategically and empowering in that way to be able to push through, be persistent and push through.
Since you brought up AI, with the businesses who initially want to work with you, how AI prepared are they in general?
I think everybody is learning, and I give that grace to myself. I give that grace to the community. But what I will say is that we need to accelerate our learning, right? So there's places we could tap into to do that. It's funny, as a marketing specialist, people say, oh, I can do this work on with ChatGPT. And I say to my clients, go right ahead, like, do it. And so when you look at the output, so they typically just go, oh, chat, write me a business plan. I'll just use a business plan example, or write me a marketing strategy. And then chat produces a marketing strategy, versus when my team goes to the tool and say, yes, support in, we're prompting with insights and information to give a different output. It definitely makes a huge difference. So what I'm saying, people aren't using the tool well, right? And I think the level of experts that, before it was a manual research and doing all of this stuff, for us, we're now saying, okay, we could take our knowledge and the insights that we have, input it into the tool so the output is much stronger and useful, right? I think the usability of it. So what we're seeing, yes, these tools can support you with stuff, getting stuff done easily, but then who's going to actually implement and do all of these things? And that's where we're seeing people getting stuck. So the data is there, the information is there, and we still see relevance for ourselves as an agency in the marketplace to help with that capacity. We do the strategy. You can go and you let chat do this stuff, and then the executing and finessing. The finessing is where we come back oftentimes to help people. But the tools are amazing. And we're, as many organizations, figuring out how do we remain relevant and supporting people's growth as they begin to navigate this space.
All right. Ryan.
Absolutely. And yeah, I do apologize. I do have to hop in just a couple of minutes, but always good seeing you, Chris Beth. I know there was a open house planned for, I think, last week. Is there thoughts of a date of the next open house, or what can people know to get?
Yes, thank you, Ryan. So the act of God, the storm came through, and we were not able to have our open house here in Brampton at 350 Rutherford Road, South Plaza 2. But we are planning to do our open house again on March 18th. So stay tuned for that. What happens in the open house, it's from 9 to 4 p.m. We have a marketing session that I will be facilitating along with my team. Lots of giveaways are happening in that space, and really a chance to come and check out our studio as well. I'm currently sitting in our studio where our producer, you get 10 minutes of free content, promotional content that you can use raw, or we can edit it for you at cost. But we're really happy to invite people into this space to learn more about what we do.
Excellent.
Okay, so I know, Ryan, you got to jump Chris Beth. If you want to hang out, no problem. It's up to you.
I'm here.
All right. We'll catch you later. Ryan is gone. Okay, Ryan is gone. All right. So we've got some more time with Chris Beth. So people, if you got questions for Chris Beth, fire away. I know Food Plane, you were on fire a few minutes ago. Now we lost you. So I don't know if you have left us or you got other things to do. So here is open sesame with Chris Beth. So Chris Beth, let me ask you from your lens, where are growth opportunities sector-wise for entrepreneurs, in your opinion?
I strongly believe, and it's something that I'm working on as well, we need to get, as a people, I think in technology and innovation, there is opportunity in the healthcare sector, in the EV space. There's opportunity. I once met an entrepreneur that built a rechargeable battery, right? And I think, again, I believe our people were smart. We have the capacity to do great things. And if we were to look a little higher, a little further, there's great opportunities to plug into spaces like incubators. They have free resources to help you, bring your ideas to life. And understanding with business, it does come at a cost, whether it's your time or your own investment, but it's rewarding. It's challenging at times, but it is rewarding as well.
Question for you, or conversation piece. I'm a firm believer that a lot of entrepreneurs out there, they need a lot of things to move forward. But I think one of the things some of them are lacking is self-esteem.
Mhm.
You want to
I
talk
would
about
agree.
that at
I
all?
would agree. I think it's funny when my vision one of my business, I referred to it as that because the objective was to help people see value in themselves, the thing that they do, and value in community, right? And I think when we don't believe in ourselves, it ultimately impacts everything that we do, whether you're an entrepreneur or an employee, wherever you fall in life. Your self-esteem is a huge factor in terms of how you show up in the world. And I would say for my own self, I struggled. I was bullied in high school about the way that I look and how I sound. My accent at that time was much stronger. But I think with being surrounded with the right environment, a strong home family, it helped to, bar out the negativity. But at the same time, it did penetrate my mindset and how I showed up as well. And so investing in personal development, training, as well as supports did help me and is still helping me. I think sometimes it's a lifelong engagement, right? It's like pouring fuel for your vehicle. If you're not pouring in good stuff, the bad stuff's gonna fill the space, right? So I think, not having false positivity, we can acknowledge that there are challenges and issues. All of those things may be true, but the opposite is also true. Good things are in store for us if we believe.
If you're comfortable, do you want to share any recent success stories in with Empower Forex, working with any organizations or companies that you've been with?
Yeah, two things I shared before. We have the way that we expand our virtual office service is through partnerships with established businesses with brick and mortar. And the way that we choose to do that in a strong sense is through a social enterprise model, finding nonprofit organizations or charities with a unit. And as you know, nonprofits and charities are sometimes stuck because they are struggling to generate revenue, dependencies on grants and funding, and that isn't always coming. So with our business model, we now partner with them and revenue share. And I think, with our partner in Ottawa, I'll just give her a shout out, Brenda at New Life Project, supporting women and girls who are either new immigrants or coming out of domestic abuse. We've been partnering for some time now, and she's getting payouts of over $1,000 plus. I would just put it like that, right? In the past year, we've paid out to our partners over 20,000, and we'll double that this year, right? And so I think when you think about nonprofits, oftentimes they have forced to close their doors when they are not getting the funding, and we have stepped in our business model to say we can partner with you to help you generate revenue. And she will tell you, she's given lots of testimonies of how that additional revenue has helped her to keep her doors open, right? So that for me is a huge win. In terms of the marketing work that we do for our clients, I think when clients come to us and they don't have a system and they walk away with something that we don't even need to be with you forever with, something that is automated, something that they can manage on their own, or choose to work with us, it's a win. And, the conversions are happening, the lists are being built. And for us, I would just say, not disclosing names of clients and things like that, but really the win happens when clients come back and say, your team is amazing, Chris Beth. It's not even about me. I would say, the people that support our clients, really put 100% effort into the work to deliver value, and it's happening.
With the increased power of algorithms, how important is it for businesses? For me, it's, I think, more than ever, but if we want to get your lens, to have a mailing list.
Oh, mailing list. It is powerful. I say, so there's, spaces that we show up in that is not our own. I give the example of Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, all of these places. We do not own that, right? I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, Dr. Vibe, when Facebook and WhatsApp went down, Meta and WhatsApp went down. People like, oh my goodness, my data. How do I get in contact with those people? Folks, you won't get in contact with them if you don't have your database, right? And so creating your own database is so important. Leveraging those spaces to get people into your own ecosystem, number one. So celebrating the person that got the 1,000 followers on YouTube. Amazing.
Opal inspired.
Opal inspired. Thank you so much. Opal, congratulations to you. You're one of the things that I would say to you, the 1,000 people that are following you, I would say, let's even go further. Let's get those people to come to subscribe to your newsletter. So now you're getting their full email, you're getting more information about them, so you can really curate a real conversation in the hopes that they convert into whatever you're selling. Because just having followers, great. But what is that followers doing to support your overall business growth in that capacity, right? So I would say having that mailing list is now to say, how do I get people into my own space? Because you don't own YouTube, right? Like the facts is YouTube has the data of everybody. Google has the data of everybody there. You don't. So let's get that data for you, right? So that's what I would say. The power is in you owning that data, and it comes through getting into conversation. I say conversation brings conversion. So let's make those conversions happen by having meaningful conversations and relationship building with the people that we're engaging with.
Yeah, people realize if you're doing this thing for business, you've got to have one place where you have all the people who you engage with.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with the CRM, right? The central customer relationship management tool, like Zoho, one like Go High Level.
Yeah, you have to have that one space, because if you don't, I know people that have lost their Facebook pages, lost their Instagram pages. Bam, bam, gone. So we have here, Opal Inspired says, thank you so much, Chris Beth. Great advice. There you go. It's there.
Yeah.
And then also Ray says, a clean database is the foundation of building and growing your business. Over my time in business, it has always been my primary focus, and it works.
Yes. Yeah.
Also says, it's also when selling or transferring your business, that database adds significant value.
Very true. Very true.
Very true. So if you get anything from today's conversation, make sure you get that. Have your own.
Yes.
We are renting out on other people's spaces, and they own it. So if they own it, as I say, those who feed you can starve you. 100%. So have your own platforms. And again, as I mentioned earlier on, with algorithms control. So I always see every few weeks, oh, YouTube's done this, Instagram's done this, Facebook's done this, TikTok has done this.
Yeah.
Find out where your audiences are and then take them.
Literally.
And form your own thing.
Yes.
Even if it's a small, I would say it's better to have a community of about 50 people on your own platform than having 100, 150 people on another person's platform.
Yeah. And that's why I even with websites, I know some people don't have websites, but a website, you come back into that ownership. It is mine. It's not my. People say, yes, my business is running on TikTok and Instagram, all of these things. Great, but you don't own it, right? And because you don't own that, you have that separation. And I think going back to what Ray said, that clean database and also knowledgeable. Sometimes I see databases with just name. Do you have a phone number? Do you have an email? Do you have a history of your interactions with them, right? And I think really, making sure it's one worth selling, right? A database worth selling in that from that capacity.
Well, there's a prominent person that I respect. I won't give his name here. He was on the other day, and he said during his journey, there was one time where he had an Instagram channel that had 700,000 followers gone. And I think he also had the same thing in regards to Facebook, gone.
Yeah.
And you know how long it took for him to build that, and it just gone. You got to start all over again.
Yep.
Ray has another question here. What percentage of quote new unquote entrepreneurs you work with have their own website, even a simple landing page with a contact form?
Well, everyone that we work with, we make sure they have one if they don't. Because I talk about the power of the landing page. It is a must. You have to have that. I guess it's a must in the way that we work because we know it works when implemented well. But the truth is I would say let's say if 10 entrepreneurs come with us, they may have a website, but the website is not search engine optimized. They just put some pretty words on there that, it sounds nice to them. They're speaking to themselves, but it's not connecting with the customer. And the truth is, most people don't even know what search engine optimized mean and how to do that, right? And that's where we spend our time supporting people to get their content, their website, their landing page up to that standard. And so a quick tip and advice I would give to people, it's a free tool. You get 3 searches per day. It's called Answer the Public. There's a paid version, but the free tool gives you some insight. And that tool, when I show clients, listen, what you want to do is put yourself in the mindset of your customer sitting at the computer, typing in to find a solution. And guess what? They don't know your name. So Dr. Vibe, if nobody knows about your name, nobody's sitting out, oh, let me find Dr. Vibe. No, but they may say, let me find a podcast that's helpful to men that's struggling with fatherhood, right? So, and then guess what? Your podcast gonna come up, right? Because you've SEO'd your pages and your spaces to speak to that problem. So
I think that's great suggestion. One of the gentlemen I really respect who has been, I won't give his name out, I've mentioned it once in a while on the show. I went on, here's another idea for you entrepreneurs. He goes on every second week and does an open Q&A. Great idea. And whether you're part of his community or not, he'll answer the questions because it gets people into his community because of the value. And plus the value, I'm in this community. I know Fitness IQ Camp saying I'm saying that word. That's his stuff. I don't say the word for myself. I say environment. The value I've gotten from his, just not only his Q&As, again, this is another reason why you have your own mailing list. You develop your own. But one day I went on his Q&A. He said, okay, Dr. Vibe. He said, let's do something. And I've said it periodically before with some people. Have you ever Googled yourself?
Yes, that's a good exercise.
Right? And first of all, are you listed first? But how deep is your name on the listing? So when we looked that day on the first page of Google, I was in every listing except one. But then another one was IMDb, Internet Movie Database. And I'm going, what the heck am I doing there? So when he clicked on it, and it had my show, but it was a totally wrong description.
Mhm.
And he said, Dr. Vibe, I suggest you contact them and say, hey, send them the right description. It's nice to be on the IMDb, but you want to have the right information.
Yes. Yeah. I think it goes back to your online presence. If I engage with 10 entrepreneurs, what we're seeing, 5 of them don't have a website or landing page. And the rest of them, the other 5, I would say maybe 1 has an SEO website, which is good, but they aren't leveraging landing pages. And so the difference between your website and your landing page, your website tells your whole story. That's okay. It's okay to have that space. But the landing pages speaks to what I was talking about, that one core audience messaging, that one core problem, core solution, and the transformation that occurs when working with you, right? And so we really lean into that. But yes, SEOing is very important. And the beautiful thing is now there's a terminology, AEO. So you're writing also for the AIs to pick you up, right? And so that's really a space that we're continuing to flourish in. And what I would say is if your SEO is off, your AEO is going to be off as well. So it's foundational elements to build out your searchability online.
And if you're not familiar with SEO, search, whether it's ChatGPT or whatever. And the thing is, let's put it this way, you can get SEO friendly titles just by using ChatGPT. It'll give you that information. And also hashtags.
Yes. And so this is where I come back to the market research, right? So people would sit and say, write me an SEO title or write me an SEO content. But again, we have to remember that this tool is just a brain.
Yeah,
we have generic. The emotion, we have the soul, all of those things. You have to feed it. I'm trying, again, going back to that niche question, I'm trying to reach the specific audience. I'm trying to do these things. Then write me an SEO, title or body to reach these people, because the point is we want to know who's it for. If you take out the who and you just say do, you're missing a huge part of the equation, right? And that comes back to what I'm saying. We see a lot of people using the tool, but not using the tool well.
Yeah, you got to train AI to know you and create. Yes. I know people to create their own. And so that's really important. So Dr. Tachi says, exactly. You can't rely on social media, space you don't own, to maintain your audience. One false move and it's gone.
Yep.
Ray McMillan question says, I expected that, Chris Beth, LOL. I should rephrase my question. When they approach Empowered FX.
Yes, yeah.
So she covered that. Fitness IQ Can goes, LOL, I was being nice today with community. I explained myself. I don't use that word. You know that. I'm referring to other people. Ray is honest as always. He says, I lost a Facebook page profile several years ago that had thousands of followers. It's a
real thing. And it's an issue that people come to us to say, can you help me recover? And the answer is no. And you don't even talk to a real person sometimes when you talk to Meta or Google or these different things.
That's a rarity if you talk to a real
person. If you could get the person, send them my way. I apply it to it like crying.
You get a human being, that is a rarity.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're dealing with that. So again, and just from my experience, when you're using AI, make sure it's trained to you.
Yeah.
The more descriptive you are, the better it's going to be to get answers, and check to see if it's right.
Yeah. The beautiful thing, it does say go and validate or verify, but most people don't, right? They just copy paste, use it accordingly. And the tip that I would give for people that are in, building audiences on these different social media platforms, great. Again, we want to bring people off. So, you have 1,000 followers, I would say you have work to do. DM every single one. Like, you need to be in conversation with each person to then say, hey, what type of follower are you? And I think, Dr. Vibe, you were talking, hey, if you're following us, we want you to engage, comment, like, all of these things, which is good, right? So now it's like, okay, who is this person? Can this person potentially buy from me? Can this person, like, being able to understand who's in your database is very important. Maybe you just have raving fans. So you say, you know what, this person keeps recommending people to follow me, keep recommending people to buy my stuff. Do you have a referral program, right? Like, where support people where they are at as well. Maybe they're saying, I don't have a need for your product. I just love what you're doing. So I'm going to be your
That's better than
ambassador.
nothing. That's feedback.
Yes, and that's good insights, right? So definitely direct message everybody, figure out who they are, have some sort of lead magnet. So it could be a quiz, an assessment, something that entice them to give you their email address so that they then get into your database. You can then start fostering those things, right? And that's where, with a lot of the methods that we use, building out those types of funnels, looking at the communication pieces, right? Remember what I said, conversation brings conversion. So being able to have as many conversations as possible, should be our focus.
Absolutely. 100%. Destiny Savory says, morning. Good morning from the Niagara region, Destiny. And Ray says, this has been such a insightful conversation, Chris Beth. Thanks for the nuggets. If you're helping Ray step his game up,
I know. I'm honored.
Thing.
Ray, I love you. Thank you.
That is a serious thing. What is your forecast for entrepreneurship for the rest of this year?
That is a good one. I would definitely say continue to, I see entrepreneurs plugging in to get insight and knowledge, but I think wisdom comes in the application. So I invite more of us, and I see more of us applying the learning, right? I think we cannot look back at the past and say, but it was like this before. It's not going to be like that again, right?
You can't even say this about tomorrow and yesterday.
Listen, with our friends or that, there's people, world orders that be, sadly, I was listening to a clip from the Michael Rubio, one of the military people of the US.
Mario Rubio,
thank you. And he was stating that and praising the world order for how things used to be when slavery exists, and saying, in short, we need to get back to those days, right? Speaking to the EU.
Yeah.
It was very disturbing. And so what I would say to folks, we don't know what the future holds, right? I think as entrepreneurs, what's in our DNA is that we see problems and we want to solve them. We see, opportunity for innovation and we want to innovate. We are creators by design, right? I think that comes in our nature. So whether you see a storm ahead or you see sunny skies, the focus is to stay on mission, right? To continue to make a positive difference in the realm that we operate in. And I think for the forecast, that's going to continue to happen. What is needed, coming back to what you talked about, Dr. Vibe, the mindset, we have to have that resilient mindset to be able to say, no matter what, I'm going to move forward, right? And that's where I sit, and that's the communities that I support. I'm really fostering that positive mindset and the drive, right? It is in the doing. Entrepreneurship is in the doing, and marketing and sales is part of the core objective, right? If we're not hitting the targets just yet, I tell especially my tech developers that I work with, or any, builders in that way, I say, stop building. Go make the sale. Go out there and talk to people, right? Because we get into this perfectionist mode. Oh, it's not ready yet, so I can't do anything. No, we have to take action today. So I see more activity happening in business as a whole for entrepreneurs. And my hope is that we continue to use these tools like AI and others for good, because they can be used in a very destructive way as well. And we want to be doing good with it.
As you mentioned, Marco Rubio and that thought process, I would suggest that people haven't seen it, the speech that Mark Carney made a few weeks ago.
So powerful. So powerful.
And so if the Prime Minister of Canada is at that level looking at diversifying, we should be looking at and not relying on one marketplace.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, here's the Prime Minister of Canada saying US is not the only game in town, encouraging other countries, diversify, look around, etc. Actually, it's just funny. I was hearing something the other day that right now the US, its biggest place they imported from was China. That has changed. It's now, I believe, Thailand or somewhere, Indonesia. So even those things are changing. So if the Prime Minister of one of the top 10 GN gross national product countries in the world saying, look, we've got to diversify this and that, we need to look in that thought process also. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
And going back to what Ray said, the Caribbean is a great place, great
Absolutely.
place. Africa as the continent, also another great place. Lots of great things are happening. And beyond that, right? I think, if we're truly looking to make impact, definitely our spaces of origin definitely can be utilized, but also knowing that relationship cross-border, we can be everywhere. We can be everywhere.
So Opal Inspired says, so true, Chris Beth. We try too perfect before we act. I say a lot of times something 70 to 80% done. Put it out there. Well, I always ask people, especially who are joining my team, one of the questions I ask them is it better to be good and on time or perfect and late?
Yes, I love that.
And Dr. Tachi, yes, correct. It's Marco Rubio, not Mario Rubio.
Yeah, Marco Rubio.
But of course, Dr. Tachi says he is definitely self-hating. Dr. Tachi.
Well, and I don't know, and not that, I just saw the clip yesterday and I sent it to Ryan. I'm like, what is happening to the world? And the thing is, everybody stood up and gave.
I would say some parts of the world, not all the world.
Some parts of the world, because the audience that he gave the speech to gave him a standing ovation. And I was like, people, did you hear what he said?
They're doing it to just look good on his boss's good side. That's what they're doing. That's
I'll have to send you the clip, Doctor.
So Dr. Tachi says, Dr. Tachi goes, but he's not worth knowing his correct name. So Mario it is.
Well, in the speech, he actually denied, he points his origin to Europe, right? So it was really not identifying with Cuba. He says, I am European, right? Again, dysphoria is a real thing that people experience. And so we just, you let people do what they do, but that also is telling us we need to know ourselves and we need to do what we need to do in order to advance our mission, vision, and values of good.
100%. 100%. One last thing before we let you go, the importance for entrepreneurs about collaboration.
I love it. So you're saying, sorry, repeat the question.
I'm just saying before we let you go, like to share with entrepreneurs out there about the importance of collaboration.
It is everything. It's funny. Yesterday, I was interviewing a young man for a leadership camp that I run and support with the Rotary International District here in my region, and the question was: is collaboration or competition, which is better, right? And he was saying, obviously, he said, and there's no right answer based on your perspective, but he leaned into collaboration is better than competition. I believe it. One of my business coaches, and him, he says competition, right? So you could be in competition. Competition exists in the marketplace, but is there a way we could collaborate, right? I think you look at the Eglinton Crosstown Dr. Vibe, and not only one major firm was able to get that contract on their own, but 4 major firms that are seen as competition come together to form a new entity and go after that contract, right? So collaboration is the way. Myself and Allison from Black Woman Collective and Amanda from Jelly Social, and we can come together to form the B2B collective, right? I think there's power in collaboration. And so, friends, if you want to go further, right, you have to collaborate. I think it is so important. And guess what? When one falls, the other can lift up, right? When one achieves, you share your tactics, insights, all of those things, and everybody wins. I think and believe and talk here about at Empowered Facts a win-win strategy, triple win-win-win strategy. We win, our clients win, and the people that they serve. So in a collaborative space, if there's competition, you can win with your competitors as well. I believe it. I've experienced it. I lived it.
Final comment, That's IQ Cam says, we all can eat.
Yes. Everybody can eat. Everybody can eat. I believe it 150%.
All right. Well, Crispeth, thank you for investing the most important thing with us today, your time to hang out with us today. You can catch all things at website Empowered 4X. Notice I just put the website, nothing else. Empowered 4X. That's where you can catch her. So let's do a little thing before we close it out here. So subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. Join our Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. Also, same email address if you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm a part of. If you want to get a hold of Mr. Knight, it's RyanOneilKnight.com, KN, not an N. You can find out more about me at taplink.cc/the drvibeshow.com. And you can watch replays of this show on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Afro Caribbean Business Network on YouTube, and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. So as we close it out today, this is what we do. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Oh, by the way, I believe this Friday, if I'm correct, I think she is. Oh, Opal Inspired says, great show. There you go. And I believe, and I think she may be still watching, we have Dr. Tachi coming on. So that gonna be good. And I think we're going to announce something, I believe. I just got to confirm that offline with her. We're going to announce something in regards to Dr. Tachi. So let's close it out here. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both and make it better. God bless. Peace to you all. Keep the faith. Walk good. And we'll see you soon.